I'm Aden Matthews.
And I'm Zach Snyder.
And welcome back to another YouTube podcast, the one-stop shop for anything and everything related to YouTube.
The show where we are recording a day before it goes out.
Ooh, risking it. Being a little risky boy.
Epic? Yeah.
Rushing the clock.
I forgot. Forgot about the podcast this week. Completely.
Well, that's why I'm here, Zachary. To DM you at a random hour of the day and be like, hey, got any plans? Want to record YouTube podcasts?
Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing going on.
We'll get an episode out, maybe.
Be a little quirky. But we're we're here. We're here. So that's cool. Another week.
Takes with every fiber of my being. Anytime like you or Jay or whatever says we're here, for me not to say and we're queer. But like every time I gotta hold back the urge.
Yeah. That's funny. I thought the same thing. So that's cool. Yeah.
I can't make the and we're queer joke every time or it stops being funny. No. You gotta save it. You gotta save it for specific instances.
I agree.
So there you go. But what are we talking about today, Zach?
Well, it's everybody's favorite episodes. We're going to talk about our week on YouTube. Trademark.
Pog.
So that's cool. We got about 2 weeks to cover things that we've done related and not related to YouTube. So that'll be cool. You know how it'd be.
Can we have a segment where it's like your week on YouTube, but it's like shit you haven't done and plan to do? Like, can you rephrase it to like your week on YouTube, but also like in the next few months, kind of the general idea.
Also things that I haven't done. Yeah, I mean, there's a list.
So,
got a list of things that I haven't done. So that's
maybe cool. It'd be a longer episode, unfortunately, but I feel like you could get more content out of that format for sure. Yeah,
until every single time we go to record this, it's just the same list of things that we didn't get done.
Right. Then they wouldn't be interesting from episode to episode, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. It's a good thought though. But you know what's a better thought?
Oh.
What if I read our sponsor for the week?
Oh shit. A pitch in and of itself.
Yeah. So our sponsor today is Awesome Creator Academy with the YouTube Starter Kit. If you're just getting started on YouTube and you have a little bit of money to throw around, why not check out the YouTube Starter Kit? For $99, you get over $1,500 of value and dozens of downloads and templates for advanced YouTube thumbnails, channel artwork, end cards, and lower thirds, to royalty-free background music, fonts, and more. Pay one price and have unlimited access to future downloads as they come out. Check out the link in the description or the show notes, and in doing so, you'll be supporting another YouTube podcast.
But of course, if you don't have $100 and you're feeling kind of lonely, you can still support this podcast, and you can even become a supporter on Anchor at anchor.fm/another-YouTube podcast. You can decide to support us financially at $1, $5, or $10 a month, and we'll read your name on the podcast, which will probably be the first time you've heard your name spoken in months. While we plan to do this podcast for a really long time, the more financial support we have, the easier it'll be for us to maintain a consistent schedule. Thank you to our sponsor, Anchor and Awesome Creator Academy.
I almost went to that link and threw $10 because I'm feeling a little lonely.
I'm sure. It's a pandemic, Zachary. It's a loneliness pandemic. We're all having to do our part and fight it. So I figured, maybe we could just, through monetary funds, obviously, because I don't want to provide friendship for free. But if it's under the guise of friendship for $5 or $10, that's probably worth it to somebody.
Yeah. Hashtag capitalism.
That's why people buy OnlyFans, right? Getting a little bit of a connection, if you will.
Yeah.
Form a relationship with somebody that they know is out of their league. We're out of their league, We're internet personalities.
Social media influencers.
We're not very good at it because you guys haven't been giving us money, so we're going to have to influence you a little harder next couple episodes.
Yeah. Exactly.
We try.
Cool. Aden, how was your week on YouTube?
Bro, fucking nothing happened. What do you want me to, I'm working on a thing? Of course. Of course I'm working on a thing. Nothing out yet. So
More.
just kind of forced to bring up the usual suspects. Aden on Anchor still going well. Love that shit.
Yeah.
Lions Honor Gaming, we got 5 concurrent series, 4 of which you've already seen the first episode of. Another one is in the works right now that we have not released. And because it's with my good friend Jay, I can't just say it on the podcast. I can't just reveal another series. I want him to kind of reveal it. But yeah, we got Phasmophobia, GeoGuessr, Plague Knight, finally out, finally back, finally doing shit with that. And what's that? Celeste, my first big solo series since Yoshi's Island. Got part 1 of that up, have 1 a week. Got the first 3 uploaded. Celeste is really fun. Unrelated to this podcast, but Celeste is really fun.
I'm interested to see how you do with that game because I've heard it gets tough.
It is.
Gets really tough, and I've been wanting to play it myself, so I need to watch your series because I'm curious to see how you handle it.
I know mostly next to nothing, so that reaction you get of like what the stages are like, me learning mechanics, how many times it takes me to die, it's all in there. I'm not cutting it out. It's all included.
Cool.
Part of the process. And got that auto ducking in there too for audio. So
I need to see how that turns out.
A little bit more of the music in there, a little bit of a music focus in there. But yeah, nice to have that shit going. Getting some series started. That'll take us pretty much to like June, July. And 5 series can go on for a pretty long time. Even the shorter ones could potentially get replaced in a little bit. So that's awesome. That's great. And then pretty much just like Blue Couch Productions, still a thing. Still want to work on something. I've been having an issue now where it's like before I'd had a project, a series to work on. And I'm like, I'm going to be so glad when I'm done with the series because then I can just work on anything. And then I finish the series and I'm like, what am I supposed to work on? It's too many options. I'm like, do I want to do a DCU ranking? Do I want to talk about this cartoon? Do I want to finally just say fuck it and review music? I don't know. They're all good options on paper, but I'm having a hard time picking something, sticking with it, and trying it out. Because there's a lot I could be doing, but just nothing that's really like surprised me or enticed me or anything. I will say though, even though no video stuff is going on, I did finally get like a proper green screen setup for this room, kind of established.
Cool.
By using the entertainment center and these like cabinet knobs. They're big, thick knobs, and they actually support the weight of the green screen, so I can keep it off the ground. So, hypothetically, whenever I want to start doing back to the video games again, it's there, and I can use it and start filming some of that a little bit easier. And with the space in this room, it actually would look pretty good. So that was kind of a thing holding me back from trying to do more back to the video game stuff, is how would I get my green screen set up? But now I have a great way to do that. It took about a day of fumbling around and fucking shit up with that. That's pretty much it in terms of just straight content creation things. It was about to do work for somebody else today because I was finally tired of having that stupid Activate Windows watermark. So I go on Twitter today and I'm like, yo, anybody just dead ass want to give me $15? I'll work on whatever you want, bro. I'll do whatever the fuck you need. And then, sure enough, the immediate second I post that tweet, patient's just like, yo, I'll just give you $15. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, no cap. You don't gotta do nothing. I'm like, okay, damn. Shit. I was ready to work on something, but guess now I'm not. Guess now I'm just fucking vibing.
My Twitter usage is almost like nothing at this point. But I did go on Twitter earlier and I saw that like hours after you had posted it. And like I saw the first tweet and I was just like, I could probably just give you $15. Just got the stimulus today. So I was like, I could just give you $15. But I saw the reply and I thought it was really fucking funny.
Because I was going to get DMs if I didn't clarify that, like, patient had done that. So I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Sure. Why not? And now it's gone. I don't have it. Turns out, not here to give advice or anything, but you should not be getting Windows keys from Microsoft directly because they'll cost hundreds of dollars. But they're
Yeah.
instead different sites you can go to that sell Windows keys that are authentic. And
Okay.
you can end up getting one of them for roughly $15 or so. Saves a lot of money.
That's crazy.
And it's the real deal. So if you are making a new computer, because pretty much every pre-built or computer you get from somewhere else is just going to have Windows installed generally. But if you need it anytime or you need an activation key, there's plenty of YouTube tutorials and websites to do it. But I'm just pointing that out in case you were about to drop $200 on something like that when you did not need to. So if that helped anybody, there you go.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but I just renewed another year of PS Plus for like $25 because I also used a website to get like half off.
Yeah. There's options available if you know where to look.
$60.
You know where to look.
Yeah.
How many? This is again unrelated. Like, how many streaming services are you currently paying for?
Oh man. So work related, I've got Adobe Creative Cloud. Right. I've got my personal Google Drive for like $3 a month for 100 gigs, and then I've got like the annual subscription for the Lions Honor Google Drive, which I also use for client stuff, which I think is like 3 terabytes or 2 terabytes or something like that. So I pay for that. Yeah. And then I share Netflix with my parents, so I don't pay for that. I have a Amazon Prime. Have the yearly for that. Yearly for PS Plus. I'm on. I have a family plan with Spotify with Damien, my roommate, which we recently just got you on, which is cool.
Heck yeah.
There's definitely more. I pay for Discovery Plus, which I'm sharing with Jay and his family, so that's really funny. I've got HBO Max, which I also share with the homies. I don't have Hulu right now. I don't have YouTube Premium anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore.
No YouTube Music? You ain't fucking
no YouTube music. Nah, I just have Spotify. I know I'm forgetting something.
I guess.
It's the Fortnite, yeah. Yeah, I pay like $8 to Fortnite now, so every month, so that's cool. The Fortnite crew, isn't that what they call it?
Yeah,
I think that's it. There might be like 1 or 2 other ones. It's stupid, right? Like, it's stupid. But
well, I mean, like
Postmates Unlimited.
I didn't even know they had that.
I have an annual pass from Postmates Unlimited that I'm gonna have to renew in like 2 months. It saved me like hundreds of dollars.
Did they finally get rid of Movie Pass?
No, Movie Pass died.
That shit gone.
Movie Pass died back in 2019.
Damn.
It was cool for what it was, but it wouldn't even be usable right now because all the movie theaters closed.
True.
But yeah, I don't have.
I'm on like at least half of those. At least half of.
Yeah.
If not most of those. Which is wacky.
Like, it's over 10 probably at this point. Like, some of them are necessary to my business, right?
Yeah, you gotta have.
Like, I have to have them. Some of them are just like, movie TV subscriptions, which I use as tax write-offs. So that's cool. I think I use all of them as tax write-offs. Pretty sure. But yeah.
Even the Fortnite one.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Can you claim that that'll pass on taxes?
Claim that. Hey, I streamed Fortnite.
That's true.
So technically, it's a business expense.
I see. Well, little knowledge there, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's all I had. That's all I had for my week on YouTube. Maybe there'll be something more interesting next week or 2 weeks from now. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
We're still waiting through it.
I feel that.
How about you though? How has your week been?
It's been weird. I'm still putting out the come up, though I did not put out last week's episode yet, so I'm a week late on that one, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's fine. I mentioned it a little bit on that podcast episode, but since it's not out, I'll go ahead and mention it now. I did get a third monitor, which I don't think I mentioned on the podcast yet.
Ooh, dope.
So I have a ultra wide monitor, which is really cool. I edit so many different things and have like 3,000 windows up, so it's been very helpful to have the extra screen space. But as I was cleaning up my desk and getting it set up, I had to like get a new HDMI cord that was long enough. I finally fixed my like keyboard issue, which I have like this Logitech wireless keyboard, but occasionally it'd be quirky and just not work. And you know, it's really frustrating when you're editing and you're like trying to press a key and it's not doing anything. It's more frustrating if you're playing Fortnite and you need to perform and you die because you couldn't move.
True.
So I got like this long USB receiver thing so that the wireless thing for the keyboard can be like right up next to the keyboard. You might be thinking, why not just get a wired keyboard? I don't know.
You pretty much have a wire at this point with how close.
I do at this point, but like this just makes it so that I can still move the keyboard around without it being a problem or anything.
There you go.
One of my big problems though is I was cleaning up my desk and moving things around and stuff. I unplugged everything, and as I was plugging things back up, I think I used the wrong power cord for my HDMI switcher and my HDMI splitter because both of them short circuited. They just stopped. They just weren't working, and I was like trying to figure out what happened, and then one of them smelled like it was burning. So I was like, oh, this isn't good. So I have new ones. I bought like a I think I had like a 5-in-1 switcher, and I bought a 3-in-1 because I don't really need all 5 of them. I still got to set those up, but yeah. So there's that. So there's been some I guess hardware upgrades recently, which has been cool. But in terms of content, I ain't done much.
Hey.
You know, I live streamed some Pokemon Blue about a week ago, so that was cool. Hoping to get some more of that out soon. And then I moved some more live streams over to the Zack Snyder Plays channel, just keeping that as archive, you know, kind of stuff. Which I think is neat. I like having that to go back to and watch if I ever wanted to. And then like trying to figure out a stream schedule again, and it didn't work this week, so that's unfortunate. But I've just been busy with client stuff.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that exciting?
So cool. I started playing Civilization 5.
Okay. All right.
Getting way too into that.
I still don't have Civ 6. I just exclusively. I remember playing 4 as a kid. My dad played that for hours and hours. So I just kind of got into it that way. And then I got 5, and I have 5 on Steam. And I don't get into it often, but some nights I'm looking through my Steam library wanting to play something. I'm like, oh, I'll go ahead and play Civ 5. But the problem is I see a whole game through. Like, I don't pause. During
yeah, and it's like at least 8 hours.
It's several hours. So I'll waste nights on that. But it's been a hot minute. Let me actually, I wonder.
I got Civ 6 now. So I know you share my library. So if you wanted to play it, it's there.
I'm going to check how many hours I have in Civ 5. Because probably I don't have like enormous hours on PC games. But I bet that would be one of them where it's too much time.
I think it's your most played.
Probably.
According to this, it's 84 hours.
84? All right. Sick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's your most played. 84 and then 81 in Game Dev Tycoon.
Sure
I have 62 hours in Civ 5 now.
Hey. You getting there?
Yeah, and I started it March 7th. Yeah, a week ago. Cool.
It's a fun game. It's really fun.
It's really cool. That first game, like, I had no idea what I was doing. But then I was able to go into the second game and take what I had learned and built on that. And then, once you like play more games, you kind of start building on top of everything, and it's really cool.
Things
It's
get
like a
easier.
skill in itself. Yeah, exactly. A lot of replayability, which it's crazy because like I used to feel like I'd only be interested in like narratively driven games or like platformers or something that had a definitive end, and yet the older I get, the more I am kind of into these games that have very specific mechanics that allow you to replay it a good bit and continuously get better at it. I mean,
Right.
Tetris is there, but then
High ceiling,
Binding
basically. High ceiling
Binding of
games.
Isaac, right, right. And so like I could see myself getting into some other RTSs in the near future, which would probably not be a good idea because they take a lot of time to get into. But I don't know.
If you have a city builder, city skylines, or anything like that, that's another one I get lost in alongside
Yeah.
Civ. So there's
Um.
something really fun about micromanaging a city or something like that, where you got to keep track of all the resources. It's fun as fuck.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I know. I was playing some Civ 5 while watching Supernatural with Jay, and he was playing City Skylines. So yeah, it seems a lot. I tried City Skylines at once, and I didn't know how to get the electricity running. I
It
was
takes a little bit
confused,
to learn it,
but
but it's good.
yeah, sure. Once you learn stuff, it'll get better. But yeah, like Epic Week. I got like a ton of client stuff I still got to do. I'm gonna hopefully be getting you some stuff to start working on. We kind of talked about
Oh,
it in the private about like how I wanted to use you in terms of the virtual assistant stuff, kind of moving to like a project by project basis, just because I don't have as much coming in as I thought it was gonna come in. And part of that is because like I'm already taking so much time to do the couple of client work that I have now. And I honestly I don't want to just try to work with people that I might not like to work with. I worked with a client for so long that really just kind of destroyed my motivation to do a lot of things. And
yeah,
so I don't want to jump into anything else just because possibly I can get some more money for it. Um, so I'm taking things slower than I thought the year was going to take, but I see that as a positive, way more than a negative, because I'm doing okay financially. Um, I still should be able to like get you some work to help you out a little bit and figure that out, and then hopefully I can spend some more time doing my own stuff. I still have plans to put out videos this year. I know it's March and I haven't yet, but like I still have plans. So we'll see what happens.
neat.
Yeah.
Um, I know this is gonna be kind of a hard video to get title or an SEO on. So real quick, before we go,
Mm-hmm.
a tiny little bit of like kind of Twitch news. Did you hear
Oh yeah,
about?
go for it.
Did you hear about this whole like API situation that went down recently?
No, what happened?
So somebody went digging down a little bit in the good old Twitch API and
Oh boy.
found a little something epic. Basically a kind of formula um, tied to how well you would work with brands, a brand score, basically. And it was
Okay.
dependent on a bunch of different factors, your age, what types of games you played, the rating of said streams, your audience, how you banned people, moderation, all that type of stuff.
Mm.
Um, but Twitch had never talked about anything like that publicly. So this guy just kind of went on Twitter and was like, yo, here's a thing. And then, of course, being that it is twitter.com, people got
Mm-hmm.
mad about it. And Twitch was like, oh, LOL. And it's not there anymore.
Mm.
Which,
Wow.
some people could theorize that it's just like, did they really get rid of it or did they just hide it so you can't just.
They probably hit it.
just can't access it again. But the point being, if it's gone or not, whatever, it sparked a lot of interesting debate of Twitch kind of having that sort of feature in there because, like, let's be honest, Twitch didn't talk about it and it was kind of flung out in the open, but it's safe to at least assume that YouTube has something similar to this with how it uses its ads to market to specific people and on what channels those ads appear on. A lot of social medias probably have factors like this. I guess people kind of got freaked out because it was up close and personal. And
Interesting.
some people thought it was unfair. It was like, well, blah, blah, blah. General complainy stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear your take on that. Let me find the original tweet while you do. Just so I'm not
go
talking
for it.
out of my
I'd like to see exactly what it is. I mean, like, I'm gonna be real with you. There's a lot of these social media platforms and even
There
like
it is.
Google. Okay, cool. Let me look at this. Even like Google has very specific data on you as a user. What I think a lot of people don't understand is that these platforms exist solely to the only reason that they stay around is because they understand user behavior. And by
Yeah.
doing that, they dig in deep on everything that they legally can get away with. I'm not going to say morally because, it's up in the air how much of this is really moral to begin with. But legally, they go as deep as they can in your data so that you can figure out so they can figure out what's going to keep you on the platform, what you can what they want you to see next, or what you would want to see next, and so on and so forth. I mean, when it comes to even Google, there is a data and personalization section in your Google account. And if I'm not mistaken, there's an entire ad personalization section. And like, if I go to that right now, it says, these are the ways that my ads are personalized. And I'm not going to read all of this because it's a lot of different things. But it starts with 25 to 34 years old, male, language, English. It shows locations that I've been at recently, like Walmart and Best Buy and Whole Foods. It shows websites that I've been on recently. Like, I was on Newegg's website like 2 weeks ago, NordVPN. By the way, I pay for NordVPN too.
Add it to the list.
Google Frame.io, which I use for client stuff. And then it goes into like specific topics that I would be interested in. Things like adventure games, animated films, audio equipment, audio books. I mean, there's an entire list, and you can go through this and you can even more personalize it for yourself. For instance, there's a thing on here like company size, very large employer. I don't know why that's on here because I have a small company, but it's probably
Not a
because
very large employer.
Right. It's probably because I've researched different things surrounding entrepreneurship, and I talk to other entrepreneurs and I do work for them. And so I've probably looked up certain things that I needed for their videos. And so it's crisscrossed into my own data. I mention this because it's like Google has this for your ads, but like Facebook also has it. And one of the reasons that people tell business owners, entrepreneurs and stuff to go get ads, to go buy ads for their company on things like Facebook and LinkedIn is because you can make very targeted, specific ads based on the consumers that you want to reach. So you can make one ad for somebody that's 18 years old who's a female that likes things like Hello Kitty, and you can make like this really cute Animal Crossing type ad for your freaking life insurance business, right? But then you can also do the exact same thing for somebody that's 54 who's into grilling, and make like a grill ad for somebody that needs life insurance.
Smart.
Right. And so, people like Gary Vee theorize and have put into practice that for like big companies like Pepsi and Amazon and Coca-Cola and Toyota, they're going to make like 500 pieces of content every day so that you can continuously target very specific consumers, and make those ads more like bite-sized videos or images that those people would be interested in checking out rather than just like a one-size-fits-all commercial for like the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mention all this because like I'm not surprised Twitch does this at all.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like it, yeah. Like I get why people are angry about it. I get why Twitch would probably go back and hide it. I don't think they get rid of it. I think that would
well, the wacky thing too is that they ended up responding to this.
They did.
And they said two things. Like, number one, hey, we're trying to make sure ads are match the right communities, because the ad experience on Twitch is notoriously bad. It has been for several years now. They've needed something like this. And then the other thing that they weirdly addressed was like user privacy. Was like, hey, we're not trying to mine data or whatever, but it's not so much collecting information about you as it is your channel, your practices, a few like variable things that like Twitch could easily find on your channel page, whether or not you're male, female, your age, that type of stuff. So the fact that there's an algorithm at point to try to match that is interesting. The other thing that should also be kept in mind with all of this, though, is that yes, you can get ads on stuff. Very rarely are you going to see any, if at all, money from it. Like if you're an affiliate and you have ads playing on your streams, you're not seeing any money from that. If you're a partner
on Twitch,
and you have ads playing on your stream, you'll get a cut of that, but it is so small compared to YouTube, Anchor, or any other platform. Pennies on the dollar. Like you're getting nothing from having Twitch ads run if you're a partner or anything. So it really goes to show like how early stages and how like bad the whole ad experience is, from actually paying creators to matching them to the fact that you couldn't skip them. It took them years to add a picture-in-picture mode. I get people are mad that like, oh, this is just gonna make all the mature streamers not have any money, and they're trying to censor the art or whatever. And it's like, you're still gonna be allowed to stream whatever you want. This is simply to fix fundamental issues that were wrong with the platform. But now it's seen in a bad light because they didn't have the time to properly introduce it. I don't know if they ever were going to, and this is just kind of, we're flung into it, and now we know, kind of, like, whatever. But I have a feeling this would have been received a little better had Twitch actually, like, just gone through and announced it, like, on a YouTube channel or something, or a tweet. Because having it come from just some random dude is kind of like, yeah, this is sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, Twitch needs to. Twitch is such a weird platform because they've been passed around from company to company over the last 10 plus years. They belong to Amazon now, but they still haven't been under Amazon's wing for that long. They're very bad about communication, and they've got to get better on that. Similar to to what people have talked about YouTube for years, and YouTube is just now starting to really start communicating certain things better. And then it's, search and discovery is so bad on Twitch that it's like, no shit that the ad system doesn't work too. Like if you can't find you can't find specific streams that might be interesting to you, then they're not going to be able to put the right ads on those channels either. So it's clearly like they need to have something like this to make the user experience better on Twitch. But I think you're right. They probably should have said something about it or hit it better. I don't know why. I don't know.
The best take I saw on all this, I think, was from a YouTuber I watched who was covering it, and just basically was along the lines of every problem that YouTube has had and will continue to have are not specific to YouTube.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the thing that's so surprising about like hearing these kind of things happen from Twitch, Number one, they're competing with YouTube in the same way every piece of media does for your attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the problems that are YouTube's problems are also Twitch's every little bit of the way. And so Twitch has to fight to try to get closer to that. And YouTube already has a pretty big leg up. Not saying that YouTube doesn't have its own specific problems. It does. But very rarely, I think, is anybody going to argue about just the plain ads experience on YouTube. And from a creator standpoint, you actually do get paid from it once you actually get the 4,000 watch hours and that type of stuff. They have a pretty clear process when it comes to that. So it's like Twitch is going to continue having these growing pains as it gets bigger, and it's going to continue to have to try and compete with YouTube and other video and streaming sites. And those growing pains are going to be public. They're going to be nasty. They're not going to be good. But the hope is every time we get one of these, like, Twitch did a bad thing, we see improvement from that, and the website gets better over the years and not worse. That's the hope, right?
Agreed. It's also important to remember that, like, this entire online content creation model and social media in general is still so early compared to any kind of established industry in the creative in the creative side of things. Like, movies have been around for 120 years now. Like, social media has been around for like 15 years. And then it's, you get even smaller when you go into, like, Twitch has only been around for so many of those years. YouTube has only been around for so many of those. TikTok just started like 2-3 years ago. So they're all going to have very similar problems. Like you said, we saw it with the copyright thing not that long ago on Twitch. Yep. We're going to see it with ads. We had Copa. They had that kind of situation, and that continues to be a thing on all platforms. It's just going to
content on all platforms. Yeah. Like, it's all the same. Even just funny again, like you were talking about Clubhouse not too long ago. Twitter trying to do their own Clubhouse. Trying to make Twitter groups. And it's like
Twitter Spaces, Twitter Fleets for like stories. It's a lot of this is going to be more standardized across multiple platforms. And it's cycles. Snapchat came out. They had Snapchat stories. Instagram was like, yo, we could do that. They did it better. Snapchat became irrelevant. Then Instagram made IGTV, and now Snapchat has a form of that, and they're like paying people to do like shows on Snapchat, similar to like Quibi, that app that went out of nowhere. It was like a blip. Like, Snapchat's doing that now, which means it's probably going to be more popular again. But then you've got TikTok, which is, used to be, I forgot what it was called.
Musical.ly?
It used to be Musical.ly. And then it evolved and it became something bigger. And now YouTube is doing YouTube Shorts, and Instagram has Reels. And everybody is going to continue to copy each other until they can find the best possible way to implement these ways to creatively express yourself, ultimately so that they keep as many people on their platform over. Right. Exactly.
They're all competing for your time. And if it's a thing where it's like the only decision from a user end is like, well, one has shorts and the other doesn't, like, that's a real impact for people. Features matter. Being able to make money off said platform more and more is going to matter. Ads matter, being able to transcode and get different video quality options. Like, all the little things are all going to have to be excellent. And the thing about all of them is that none of them are quite perfect yet. So in that sense, it's all still like you said, a very new ballgame. But I figured I'd mention that because people were mad for a little bit. I don't care.
I don't care personally. Yeah.
I don't care personally. Twitch has needed to do something like that for a long time. And I'll say it once more, just for people in the back who continue to be like, oh, my privacy. Your privacy died when you signed the terms of service.
Yeah. 100%.
And
100%.
not only that, you can argue about privacy all you want. Turns out you care a lot more about time and convenience. If you were willing to fight for privacy like you say you would, you're giving up time and you're giving up convenience. And that's any social media. That's Twitter, that's YouTube, that's whatever. These platforms are free.
It's the entire internet.
You can do whatever you want. They're going to sell you ads and they're going to get information. Now, luckily, I like that they're being more transparent about that and giving you more options. And it's not just something kind of hidden and barely talked about. But if you make content online or even just a casual observer of the internet, anything you put in can and will be used to try to make money off you. You know, that's what it is. Don't try to be like, oh, I'm fighting and caring about privacy. That shit died years ago, bro. I hate to be that bearer of bad news, but we've been here for a while.
I still think you could argue the morality behind these companies having this data on every single person that uses their platforms. But then also, like, if you really want to get conspiracy theorist and be like, I want to make sure my privacy is mine, then, like, you should not be using the computer because every computer has an IP address that can be traced right back to you. You shouldn't be using credit cards or debit cards because that's something that can be traced right back to you. Like, I mean, at some point, it's like, if my personal data... If me going to a Best Buy a couple of days ago to buy a new hard drive, which I did do, I forgot to mention that, if that shows up on my Google history, and it does because I have a phone that has Google Maps on it, and it tells me that I was there that day, that time, if it means that I'm going to have a better overall ad experience, I'm okay with that.
If I get an online banking app and it keeps track of my finances and it makes sorting and having money easier and it means I don't have to drive to a physical bank, do whatever you want, bro. Like, don't be selling it to no black market. Don't have my information fucking hacked, obviously.
Right.
But, like, you know, that's a trade-off. That's a trade-off. And a lot of people don't know that they've made that trader agreement because they don't read the terms of service. And then it's like, well, what if kids get online? It's a big discussion. It's a large discussion. But this Twitch brand safety score is taking away your privacy about as much as getting a new profile pic on Twitter would violate your privacy. Like, it's meaningless compared to like the thousands of little micro steps and things that they can get a hold of you with. And a lot of the time it's for the best, but it all comes down to implementation. I think at the end of the day, execution, that type of shit.
And like in terms of like
transparency,
the grand scheme of things, transparency is very important. In terms of like the grand scheme of things, like we're not gonna see many regulations, and you know, like the government is not really gonna be able to get involved in these platforms in a meaningful way until we have like people that have been around for the internet and understand how it works, you know, or in office and able to propose regulations that make sense without messing up the user experience. So it's a big conversation. It's going to go on for years. It's not going to be perfect for a while. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm fine with it. Postmates sends me a notification every other day, asks me if I'm hungry. And sometimes I'm like, you know, I kind of do be hungry. And it's just because they know what time I be getting food.
Get food out. Hey, what's poppin'?
Like, hey. They literally do that. Like, hey, we hear your stomach rumbling. And I'm like, okay, it didn't rumble. But I get what you're saying.
Definitely made a noise, per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might not have been a rumble, but, you know, maybe a little squeak.
Well, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Interesting discussion, though. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, you know, now give Zach some SEO to throw around in this episode title.
Is Twitch stealing your personal data?
Because before it would have been...
Episode 73.
Because the previous title would have been Zach spent 60 hours on Civ 5. Which would have got clicks, but, you know, it's definitely
That's
a different
funny.
audience.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I love that.
This would be the part of the show where we talk about comments, but we don't fucking have any, so too
Yeah,
bad.
what the fuck's up with that? Huh?
Too bad.
Huh? I'm getting a little irritated. Like, what's, you know, people don't watch us no more? Is that what it is?
That's far from the case. We get views, but less comments. What's up with that?
Yeah, that's kind of quirky. It's kind of
Comment your topics. Email us at anotherytpodcast@gmail.com. We will read your email. We will read your name. Talk.
Facts.
Be epic.
Facts. Cool. I've been Zach.
And I've been Aden.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Another YouTube Podcast.
We've been here.
Every single... Oh, and queer.
There we go.
Cool.
That was the payoff I wanted, baby.
Cool.
Let's go.